In this video, I'll show you how to group a set of button using Ribbon Workbench. Now, why do you group a button? If you have a set of customization which you've already done in your command bar, and if you want to group on basis of some logic, then you can use Ribbon Workbench to group that button. Now, it is all about structuring your custom commands in one place so that you have a group, and then within that group, you can have your own set of customized buttons. Now, give you a context, I have a model driven app. So I have this model driven app. Now, this model driven app has a set of uh, commands. So if I go into one of the record, you should be able to see a lot of out of the box buttons, as well as there are some buttons which I have just created as a custom. Now, if I want all these custom commands to come at one place, okay, I can go ahead and use the grouping functionality with the Ribbon Workbench. Now, I have already installed XRM Toolbox Ribbon Workbench, and I have this toolbox over here. Okay. Now, in the toolbox, you have an option to create a button, split button, flyout, menu section, and group. Now, let me tell you how you can utilize this group. So, first thing, you go ahead and group, click on group over here, and then move into your area. Okay. Now, I will just show you by scrolling over here the first one. So, if I drag this group after say save, okay, so let me put it somewhere here. Okay, so I'm adding this say group. So if I add this group, what happens is you will see this group over here. Okay, now this group has been added somewhere here. Now if I move this, I can even move this. Say if I want somewhere very far off, I can put that over here. Now this is that group. I can name this group, so let me call this as airlines group. So that's the ID. Okay, and you can even name the group. So I'll put the title as airlines group. So as you see over here in this section, there is an airlines group. Now what do you do with the group? You can add various things. So you can add a button within that group. So if I click on button, I can add button somewhere here, or maybe I can add within a group. So now this button is within that group, and let me call this as button as uh, say airline 1. Okay, just an example. Okay, so let me call this as airline 1, and I will label this button as airline 1, and maybe I need to give say some command. I can either write a custom command, or maybe I'll use an existing command. So let me just select whatever command I have. So I've created a group, I've added a custom button in that group. What else I can do? I can even add one more button. So here I've added this button. It says you cannot place a control here because the layout template has no more available space. Okay, so sometimes it will complain. Now I'm just again dragging this button. Okay, so let me take this button and then add it over here. Now I'm adding one more button. Now, so I have three buttons within my group. So I can group this depending on my requirement. So the hierarchy is like this is the group, which is airline group. And I have three buttons. So airline 1, this one, let me call this as airline 2, put some label and put some default command. Okay, that's not important as of now. I'll select the third button and I will just call this as airline 3. So the naming convention which I follow is like in ID I don't give space, and in the label I give like whatever text I want. So I have a group and I have this 3 button. Now from a hierarchy perspective, as you see over here, I have an airline group. So it is all grouped, and within that group I know there are like 3 different buttons, and that button. So if I click on one of the button here, you will see that this button falls under the group 1, which is airline group. And then whatever item you want, you can just put a modern image, you can put a icon. So let me put something over here. So let me check if I have anything on. Refresh. So let me select some random icon. We pick something else. and I have three different icons for a specific group. And then what I'll do is I'll click on publish. Once you're done with it, you just click on publish, and then it will follow that due course. Now, what essentially we are trying to do over here is create a grouping. Now, it is always advisable, like if in a form, if you have three or four different custom command which you have created, you group that depending on some logic. Like you might be implementing some business process, and the business process needs to have some sort of a buttons displayed depending on the role. So depending on the security role, or maybe a set of buttons need to be displayed depending on, say, reporting capability, or a set of button needs to be displayed based on some information sharing capability. So you can group all this custom command in a different category. Now I'm talking about a scenario whereby you have highly customized the ribbon, and you have, like, say, 10 or 15 custom commands within your ribbon. So you can group that depending on the structure. So grouping will allow you to capture, like, all this button in one specific container, and then you can operate on that container. So it's a part of, like, structuring the components. Now, once this is published, what I'm gonna do, I will just do a hard refresh, and then you should be able to see uh, the button. Now, you won't see a specific demarcation between the group, but then you will see all these buttons are aligned one after the another. So let me see if this is completed. I think this is completed now. So I should be able to see the custom button which I have created. Now, if you do not see that button, like as you see over here, this button has started appearing. So airline 1, airline 2. Now, there were, I think, some buttons. So yes, you will see airline 1, airline 2, and then this was I created in my previous example. This button was not refreshed in my previous example. Now, as you see, this button is refreshed. This is a custom command button which I have created. And let me do a hard refresh, and let me show you over here. So we have this airline 1, airline 2, and airline 3. Now, why do you not see airline 3? Okay, now sometimes in Ribbon Workbench, like if you do not configure it correctly, you will not see all the button. Now I can see airline 1 and airline 2. I don't see airline 3 because airline 3 does not have any command attached to it. So if you click on it, nothing will happen. So then Ribbon Workbench will not allow you to display that. That's why you see that airline 3 does not have anything attached here. The moment you select this and publish, then you should be able to see airline 3 as well. So that's how Ribbon Workbench works. So in this video, I've just tried to show you how to group the similar functionality buttons in one place using the group functionality. Thanks for watching.